First contact protocol. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly in all directions around the UES horizon. A sleek exploration vessel that cut through the cosmic darkness like a silver arrow. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the star charts displayed on the main screen. At 38 years old, she had spent half her life among the stars. But the thrill of discovery still quickened her pulse every time they entered unexplored territory. "Captain, we're approaching the edge of the Kepler 442 system," reported Lieutenant Commander Marcus Webb, the ship's navigation officer. His fingers danced across the holographic controls as he fine-tuned their approach vector. "All systems are running smoothly. The new quantum drive is performing better than expected." Sarah nodded, adjusting the collar of her navy blue uniform. The UES Horizon was humanity's most advanced exploration vessel, equipped with cutting-edge technology that would have seemed impossible just 50 years ago. Her crew of 43 represented the best Earth had to offer, each person chosen not just for their technical skills, but for their ability to think creatively under pressure. "Excellent work, Marcus. Dr. Okafor, what are your sensors picking up?" Sarah turned to the science station, where Dr. Amara Okafor, the ship's chief xenobiologist, was studying multiple data streams with intense concentration. The brilliant Nigerian scientist had dedicated her career to the search for alien life, and her expertise had already led to 3 major discoveries during their 2-year mission. "The system appears to be rich in heavy elements, Captain. Perfect conditions for advanced civilizations to develop. I'm detecting some unusual energy signatures from the outer planets, but nothing that suggests immediate danger." Dr. Okafor's voice carried a hint of excitement that she tried to suppress. As a scientist, she knew the importance of maintaining objectivity, but the possibility of finding intelligent alien life was too thrilling to ignore completely. Chief Engineer Rodriguez looked up from his station, wiping sweat from his brow. "The fusion reactors are purring like kittens, Captain. We've got enough power to run full sensors for the next 6 months without any problems. The new energy distribution system is working perfectly." Sarah smiled at her crew's enthusiasm. The UES Horizon represented humanity's greatest achievement in space exploration, but what made her truly proud was the team that operated it. They came from 17 different countries, spoke 9 languages between them, and had somehow formed a family among the stars. This diversity was humanity's greatest strength, and Sarah never forgot that fact. "All right, everyone, let's take a closer look at what this system has to offer. Begin long-range scans of all planetary bodies. I want to know if there's anything out there that Captain." Communications Officer Alina Vasquez interrupted, her voice tight with alarm. "I'm picking up massive energy signatures from the far side of the system. Multiple contacts, moving in formation." Sarah's training kicked in immediately. "How many contacts, Alina? I'm reading. This can't be right. Over 3,000 individual signatures, Captain. They're organized in what appears to be a military formation, and they're heading directly toward the inner system." Dr. Okafor's hands flew over her controls as she refined the sensor data. "Captain, these energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. The technology appears to be completely alien in origin, and based on their current trajectory and speed, they're not heading for any planet in this system." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as the implications became clear. "Alina, can you plot their course?" "Already on it, Captain. Based on their current heading and velocity, they're aimed directly at Sol System. At their current speed, They'll reach Earth in approximately 18 days. The bridge fell silent as the reality of the situation sank in. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe, but they had never seriously considered the possibility that their first contact with alien life would be hostile. The UES Horizon, designed for peaceful exploration, suddenly found itself as Earth's first and only line of defense against an invasion force of unimaginable size. Marcus, bring us to yellow alert. I want all departments to run full diagnostics. On their systems, Alina tried to establish communication with the alien fleet. Use the universal mathematical sequences that the xenolinguistics team developed. Sarah's voice remained calm, but her mind was racing. 3,000 ships was more than the entire human space fleet combined. Captain, I'm analyzing the alien formation more closely, Dr. Okafor reported. The energy signatures suggest at least 12 different ship classes, possibly representing multiple species working together. This appears to be a full-scale invasion force. Chief Engineer Rodriguez stood up from his station, his face pale. Captain, if they're heading for Earth, we need to warn them immediately. Even if we transmitted right now, it would take the message 8 hours to reach home. Sarah nodded grimly. Alina, prepare a high-priority transmission to Earth's command. Include all sensor data about the alien fleet. They need to know what's coming. As Alina worked to prepare the transmission, Dr. Okafor made another disturbing discovery. Captain, I'm detecting weapons signatures on many of the alien vessels. Plasma cannons, particle beam projectors, and what appears to be some kind of kinetic bombardment system. These ships are built for war. Any sign that they've detected us? Sarah asked. Not yet, Captain. We're running silent, and our stealth systems are functioning perfectly. But if we get much closer, they'll definitely pick us up on their sensors. Sarah stared at the tactical display showing the massive alien fleet. The EU's Horizon was completely outgunned and outnumbered, but they were the only thing standing between Earth and potential destruction. As captain, she had to make an impossible decision. They could retreat to Earth and warn the planetary defense forces, but that would mean abandoning any chance of gathering intelligence about the alien capabilities. Or they could stay and try to learn more about the enemy, risking the lives of her crew and the loss of vital information if they were captured or destroyed. Captain, I've established contact with the alien fleet, Alina announced suddenly. They're responding to our mathematical sequences. Put it on the main screen, Sarah ordered. The view screen flickered to life, showing the image of a creature that looked nothing like any life form humanity had ever imagined. Overlord Cathara of the Zephyrian Dominion stood over 9 feet tall, with 4 arms ending in razor-sharp claws and skin that seemed to shift between deep purple and black. His eyes glowed with an inner fire that spoke of intelligence and cruelty in equal measure. Primitive creatures, Kithara's voice boomed through the translation system. You dare to contact the mighty Zephyrian Dominion. Your pathetic species will be crushed beneath our feet when we claim your world for the Coalition. Sarah stepped forward, her chin raised defiantly. I am Captain Sarah Chan of the United Earthship Horizon. You are entering human space with hostile intent. I demand that you withdraw immediately. Kithra's laugh was like grinding metal. Demand? You are nothing but insects to us. We have conquered 47 worlds and destroyed countless species. Your primitive technology cannot possibly threaten the combined might of the Zephyrian Coalition. You might be surprised, Sarah replied calmly. Humanity has survived ice ages, world wars, and every challenge our planet could throw at us. We don't surrender easily. Foolish words from a dead species, Cathara snarled. You will watch as we burn your world and enslave your people. Consider yourself fortunate that you will die quickly. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Sarah looked around at her crew, seeing determination mixed with fear in their faces. They all understood the gravity of the situation, but none of them were ready to give up without a fight. Captain, Dr. Okafor said quietly, I've been analyzing their communication protocols. The translation matrix picked up several interesting details. This coalition appears to be made up of multiple species, each with their own technology and tactical approaches. That could be a weakness we can exploit. How so? Sarah asked. Multi-species alliances are inherently unstable. Different cultures, different values, different priorities. If we can find a way to create division among them, we might be able to break up their formation. Chief Engineer Rodriguez had been studying the technical data from the alien transmission. Captain, their ships are impressive, but they're using brute force approaches to most problems. Their energy signatures suggest they rely heavily on overwhelming firepower rather than tactical finesse. Sarah felt a spark of hope. Alina, what's the status of our message to Earth? Transmitted and confirmed received, Captain. Admiral Harrison's response indicates they're mobilizing every available ship for planetary defense. Good. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow that fleet at maximum stealth range and gather as much intelligence as possible. If they want to invade Earth, they're going to have to get past us first. Marcus looked up from his station with concern. Captain, with all due respect, we're one ship against 3,000. Even with our advanced systems, the odds are impossible. Sarah smiled grimly. Marcus, humanity has been beating impossible odds for our entire history. We didn't survive by being the strongest or the fastest. We survived by being the smartest, the most adaptable, and the most stubborn species on our planet. It's time to show these aliens what human determination really looks like. As the UES Horizon adjusted course to shadow the alien fleet, Sarah felt the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. 3,000 enemy ships were heading toward Earth, confident in their superiority and convinced that humanity would fall easily. They had no idea that they were about to face a species that had turned survival into an art form, and that considered impossible odds to be merely an interesting challenge. The hunt was about to begin, and Captain Sarah Chen intended to make sure that these aliens learned to fear the ingenuity and determination of the human race. Asterisk. Underestimated Prather command deck of the Zephyrian flagship. Dominator hummed with activity as hundreds of alien officers coordinated the movements of the massive invasion fleet. Overlord Cathara stood at the center of it all, his forearms gesturing as he reviewed tactical displays and listened to reports from his subordinates. The ship itself was a monument to Zephyrian engineering, stretching nearly 5 kilometers in length and bristling with enough weapons to level a continent. Overlord, hissed Commander Nexus, a serpentine creature whose scales shifted color with his emotions. The human vessel continues to shadow our fleet. Should we not eliminate this annoyance before proceeding? Kithra's glowing eyes studied the tactical display showing the tiny human ship, maintaining a careful distance from their formation. One pathetic vessel against the might of 3,000 coalition ships. Let them watch as we approach their world. Perhaps they will learn fear before they die. At a nearby station, sensor specialist Vorthan worked with nervous efficiency. The crab-like aliens Multiple eyes tracked dozens of data streams simultaneously, but something about the human ship's readings troubled him. Overlord, the energy signature from the human vessel is unusual. It does not match the primitive technology we expected to encounter. Explain, Cathara commanded, his voice carrying the authority of one who had crushed civilizations beneath his feet. The fusion reactor output is far more refined than our intelligence suggested. Their stealth capabilities are also surprisingly advanced. We can barely maintain sensor lock on them, even at close range. Cathara dismissed the concern with a wave of his clawed hand. Irrelevant. Superior technology means nothing when faced with overwhelming numbers. Commander Nexus, dispatch Squadron 7 to destroy the human ship. 5 heavy cruisers should be sufficient to eliminate one explorer vessel. By your will, Overlord, Nexus replied, his scales shifting to a confident golden color. Aboard the UES Horizon, Captain Sarah Chen watched the alien formation with growing concern. The sheer size of the invasion fleet was staggering, but what worried her most was the casual efficiency with which they moved. These were not random raiders or desperate refugees. This was a military force that had perfected the art of conquest through long practice. Captain, we're detecting energy fluctuations from the alien fleet, reported Dr. Okafor from her science station. 5 ships are breaking formation and heading in our direction. Sarah's jaw tightened. Battle stations. All hands, this is not a drill. Prepare for combat. Red alert klaxons echoed through the ship as the crew scrambled to their positions. The UES Horizon had been designed as an exploration vessel, but the engineers at Earth Command had built it with the understanding that the universe might not always be friendly. Hidden beneath its peaceful exterior lay weapons and defensive systems that would have amazed the aliens if they had known about them. Tactical analysis, Marcus, Sarah asked as she settled into the captain's chair. 5 vessels, each approximately 800 meters long. Heavy armor plating, multiple weapon systems, including plasma cannons and what appears to be some kind of missile launcher. They're moving in a standard attack formation, suggesting they don't expect serious resistance. Chief Engineer Rodriguez looked up from his station with a grim smile. Captain, all systems are green. The experimental defensive grid is online and ready. Our little friends are about to get a surprise. Sarah nodded. Alina, open a channel to the approaching ships. The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of the lead alien vessel. Squadron Commander Raxus was a massive creature that looked like a cross between a rhinoceros and a lizard, his thick hide covered in natural armor plates. His small eyes glowed with predatory anticipation. Human vessel, you will surrender immediately or be destroyed. Your choice is irrelevant, as death is your only destination. Sarah stood, her posture straight and confident. Commander, I'm giving you one chance to withdraw. You're about to make a serious mistake. Raxus roared with laughter, a sound like grinding stone. Mistake? We have conquered 47 worlds. What possible threat could one primitive ship pose to the might of the coalition? You're about to find out, Sarah replied calmly. Alina, close the channel. The alien squadron opened fire simultaneously, hundreds of plasma bolts and missiles streaking toward the UES Horizon. The bridge crew braced for impact, but Captain Chen remained standing, her faith in her ship and crew absolute. Defensive grid. Full activation, Sarah commanded. The space around the UES Horizon suddenly came alive with energy. Point defense lasers tracked and destroyed incoming missiles with surgical precision. while energy shields deflected the plasma fire in brilliant flashes of light. But the most impressive display came from the ship's revolutionary adaptive armor system. Instead of simply absorbing the alien attacks, the hull began to shift and change, redirecting energy and redistributing impact forces across the entire structure. "Impossible," Raxus shouted from his command deck as he watched his squadron's concentrated fire fail to even scratch the human vessel. "Our weapons should have vaporized that ship." On the Horizon's bridge, Dr. Okafor was analyzing the alien weapon systems with scientific fascination. "Captain, their technology is impressive, but predictable. They're using brute force approaches with no adaptive targeting. Our defensive systems are learning their patterns faster than they can adjust. Time to show them what human ingenuity looks like," Sarah said. "Rodriguez, power up the kinetic accelerators." The chief engineer's fingers flew over his controls. "Kinetic systems online, Captain. Targeting solutions locked." The U.S. Horizon's main weapons were not the massive plasma cannons or particle beams that most spacefaring civilizations favored. Instead, human engineers had perfected the art of accelerating small projectiles to incredible velocities. The kinetic accelerators could launch tungsten rods at nearly 10% of light speed, creating impacts that released more energy than nuclear weapons. "Fire," Sarah commanded. The alien squadron never saw the attack coming. 3 tungsten rods, each no larger than a pencil, streaked across space faster than the alien sensors could track. The first rod punched through the lead cruiser's shields, an armor like they were paper, its kinetic energy vaporizing everything in its path. The second rod hit the ship's fusion reactor, and the resulting explosion lit up space like a miniature star. The remaining 4 alien cruisers scattered in panic, their formation breaking apart as they tried to comprehend what had just happened. Commander Raxus stared at the empty space where his flagship had been moments before, his mind struggling to process the impossible. All ships, evasive maneuvers. That human ship has some kind of superweapon. But the UES Horizon was already targeting the next vessel. The second tungsten rod struck another cruiser amidships, the kinetic impact tearing the ship in half. Atmosphere and debris erupted from the wreckage as the alien crew died in the vacuum of space. Aboard the Dominator, Overlord Kithara watched the destruction of his squadron with growing disbelief. How is this possible? Our intelligence indicated that humans barely possess fusion technology. Sensor specialist Vorthon was frantically recalibrating his equipment. "Overlord, I am detecting massive energy spikes from the human vessel just before each attack. They appear to be using some form of kinetic weapon system, but the power requirements should be impossible for a ship of that size. Impossible or not, they have destroyed 2 of our heavy cruisers." Kithara's voice rose to a roar that echoed through the command deck. "All squadrons converge on the human ship. I want it obliterated." The alien fleet began to shift formation, hundreds of ships turning toward the UES Horizon with murderous intent. But Captain Sarah Chen had no intention of facing the entire invasion force in direct combat. Her mission was to gather intelligence and find weaknesses, not to sacrifice her ship and crew in a hopeless battle. "Marcus, get us out of here." "Full stealth mode, maximum distance from the fleet." "Aye, Captain, engaging quantum drive." The UES Horizon disappeared from the alien sensors as if it had never existed, leaving the Coalition fleet firing blindly at empty space. Their weapons lit up the darkness with brilliant displays of destructive power, but the human ship was already kilometers away, hidden by technology that the aliens couldn't detect or understand.